Hey everyone, welcome back to Eagle Explorer. Have you ever wondered why Montana, despite its stunning natural beauty and wide open spaces, has such a low population? In today's video, we'll dive into some surprising reasons why people find it challenging to call Montana home. From harsh climates to limited job opportunities, there's a lot more to uncover. Stick around as we explore the hidden truths about the treasure state. Let's get started and see what makes Montana so unique. Reason 10, geographical isolation. All right, let's dive into why Montana remains so sparsely populated, starting with its geographical isolation. This topic also came up when we discussed Wyoming and Alaska. Montana is pretty far removed from major metropolitan hubs. It's one thing to be a city away from other big cities, but Montana is a whole state away from major urban centers. This distance creates several challenges. One of the biggest hurdles is attracting large industries that offer substantial employment opportunities. Recently, some small tech startups have set up shop in Billings, which is great, but there's been no significant economic boom. Hey there, where are you from? I want to know which city you're watching our video from. Please leave a comment so we don't feel lonely. A small action like this will motivate us to make more videos. Thank you, and much love to you. If you know the locals, many of them are perfectly fine with this lack of major development. Montana is like one of those untouched places, similar to national parks. Just as there are rules to preserve the natural beauty of parks by restricting large developments, many people feel Montana should be left pristine as well. This sentiment extends beyond just businesses. The state's isolation also means it's harder for people to access resources, making it less appealing for potential new residents. Reason 9, a harsh climate. Next, let's talk about the weather. Montana is notorious for its extreme weather conditions, with frigid winters and scorching summers. These harsh climate conditions make living and working in Montana a challenge, which naturally deters many from settling down here. This issue isn't new. Back in the early days of westward expansion, settlers often bypassed states with tough climates and rough terrain. Places like Oregon, Washington, California, and even Utah, with their milder weather and more hospitable land, were much more appealing. While those days are long gone, the historical preference for these other states over Montana has had a lasting impact on its population growth. So these are just a couple of the reasons why Montana remains one of the least populated states. Its remote location and challenging weather continue to play a significant role in keeping its population low. Reason 8, limited job opportunities. Montana's economy is relatively small, which translates to fewer job opportunities. If you're looking for work outside the realms of fast food and retail, you're likely going to end up in sectors like forestry, mining, or agriculture. You might find yourself becoming a ranch hand, spending your days cleaning stalls and showering once a week. Reason 7, limited access to healthcare. Montana is the fourth largest state in the U.S., but it has very few medical facilities, especially in rural areas. This limited access to healthcare makes it difficult for residents to get the medical treatment they need, which is a significant deterrent, particularly for older individuals or those with chronic health conditions. Many people don't realize how challenging it can be to live in a rural area when you need regular medical care. Imagine having a medical condition that requires monthly treatment and having to drive 5 hours to reach a hospital. It's not just the hour-long treatment that's tough, it's the long drive there and back that adds to the burden. Montana's healthcare professionals do a great job, but when healthcare quality is rated, accessibility is a key factor. Unfortunately, Montana's vast expanse and sparse distribution of clinics and hospitals make healthcare access a major issue. Reason 6, lack of diversity. One of the recurring points in various surveys about Montana is its lack of diversity, and it often sparks a lot of comments. So, why does a lack of diversity deter some people from moving to an area? There are a few reasons. Personally, I think about food. I love trying different cuisines, and if there's no strong Hispanic community, for example, you might miss out on finding great mom-and-pop taco places. The same goes for other cultural foods like pho. That's just my take. From another perspective, when people move to a new place, they often want to see at least some people who are like them. It helps to have a community with shared backgrounds and interests. It doesn't mean you want to isolate yourself from the local community, but it's comforting to have that connection. Montana has a predominantly white population, and this lack of racial and cultural diversity can be unappealing to those seeking a more varied community. Reason 5, rural lifestyle. Montana is largely rural, with small towns and isolated communities spread throughout the state. This rural lifestyle can make accessing resources and services challenging, especially for those accustomed to urban living. While Montana does have cities, they are relatively small. Billings, the largest city, has about 115,000 residents. Missoula follows with fewer than 75,000. Great Falls has around 60,000. And Bozeman has just over 50,000. To put this in perspective, consider Los Angeles, one of the largest cities in the U.S., with nearly 4 million residents. The greater metro area of LA is closer to 13 million. So compared to major urban areas, Montana's cities are quite small. While this rural setting might be perfect for some, offering a peaceful and slower-paced lifestyle, it can be a significant drawback for those who prefer the conveniences and opportunities of larger cities. Reason 4. Limited entertainment and cultural venues. As we've already noted, Montana doesn't have many big cities. While big cities come with their own set of challenges, they also offer a lot of perks like numerous concert venues, museums, and theaters. In Montana, these are quite limited due to the small population. If you're someone who enjoys cultural activities like these, Montana might not be the best fit for you. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of museums or concert halls. I do enjoy a good amusement park and sometimes prefer bars that don't have country music playing nonstop. But if those cultural venues are your thing, you'll likely find Montana lacking. Many people in surveys mention this as a significant drawback. If you're interested, keep an eye on the comments section of this video. You'll probably see some locals jokingly suggesting, well, we need to build more museums to attract people. Reason 3. A high cost of living. Montana has a relatively high cost of living compared to other states in the region. This can make it difficult for many people to afford living there, especially those with lower incomes. Typically, states that aren't on the East or West Coast are more affordable, but Montana breaks that rule. While it's cheaper than states like California and New York, it's not significantly cheaper. It's not as inexpensive as Mississippi, Arkansas, or even Missouri. One positive aspect of Montana is that when you buy property, it's often larger than you'd expect. Even though property might be pricier, it often comes with an acre or half an acre of land, which is great if you're looking for a good-sized lot. However, many people are deterred by the high cost of living. Montana's cost of living is about 6% above the national average. Is it the most expensive place to live? No. Is it extremely costly? Not really, but compared to neighboring states, it is a bit pricey. Reason 2. Limited educational opportunities. Montana doesn't boast a plethora of major universities like many other states. This limited access to higher education can be a significant drawback for young people looking to advance their careers or pursue higher learning. Other states have numerous large and reputable universities. It's not that Montana's universities are bad. The problem is that there just aren't enough of them. Often, when students go to college, they end up staying in that area. From my experience, about half the people I know who moved out of state for college didn't return home after graduation. They settled in the state where they attended university. I know folks in Arizona, some around Boston, a bunch in Oregon, and a few others scattered across the country. Universities play a crucial role in population growth, both in the short term with students and in the long term as many graduates choose to stay and build their lives in the state where they studied. Reason 1. Public perception. Montana doesn't suffer from a bad reputation, but it does have the perception of being kind of empty, sparsely populated, and isolated. This can make it less attractive to people moving from cities or more densely populated states. Some people love the wide open spaces and tranquility of places like Alaska, Montana, and Wyoming, but many prefer to be closer to urban centers. In conclusion, there are multiple reasons why Montana has a low population, ranging from geographical and economic factors to social and cultural aspects. There's nothing inherently wrong with Montana. It just comes down to natural factors and personal preferences. This concludes today's video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button, and if you didn't, please hit like and leave a comment to let us know. Thank you.